Guys, today's video is brought to you by Fiverr. Fiverr is an online marketplace that connects freelancers of every industry to buyers. Whether you need a graphic designer to make a company logo, or you just need a video editing service that's going to be quick and reliable, Fiverr is full of the best freelancers in the world to help you get exactly what you need. And for my viewers only, follow the link in the description below and get 10% off today.
What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
I didn't know if I was supposed to call you or you were calling me, so I just sat here and did nothing.
Just sat by your phone?
Yeah, I did nothing. Whenever I don't know what to do, I do nothing. It usually works out.
Yeah, it's like when you're in danger, you're just supposed to stay put, right?
Just do nothing. Just sit down and somebody will come to you.
Light a fire, you're good. Yeah.
No.
No,
what are you up to?
Oh, not much, man. Just gonna go get some study hall hours in. I think class is canceled. I should probably know that if class is canceled or not, but I think it is.
Is it snowing pretty hard there?
We got some slush. The roads were pretty brutal this morning. It was a little hard to get out. We were supposed to have weights today, but it got canceled. So, but yeah, man. Hey, man, welcome to the first episode of It's All About Who You Know.
Oh, boom! Are we here? Are we recording? Is this it?
This is it, man. I didn't think I'd tell you. I thought it'd be more lively. You don't have a good stage presence.
It certainly makes it more organic. Well, I'm happy to be here, and congrats on the new show.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you. I'm just trying to get it started. So, but what's been going on, man? You doing good?
I'm doing good. Speaking of the snow, I'm driving in some snow right now. Our roads are clear, even though it's snowing on me as we speak. And everybody hates snow. I love it. I pray for snow. I think it's the greatest thing in the world. I would never stay inside on a snow day.
Yeah.
I like to go out and see how the traffic is.
No, man. There's nothing like walking outside and seeing the snow. The rain it's not fun.
Different deal. I agree. I don't appreciate the rain the same I do the snow.
I grew up in Missouri, so I appreciate it a little bit more than most. So, but man, you're flying out. Is the fight in Vegas this weekend?
Yeah, they're fighting in Vegas. All sorts of guys are fighting. An incredible card.
A great card.
I think they stacked it. My assumption is, who knows with John Jones if he's going to be able to make the fight or not. That's my assumption. So they just loaded it up. Now with John coming through, it's like a little cherry on a Sunday, as they say.
Yeah. No, it's Colby, or not Colby, Kamaru, Marty from Nebraska, and Tyron, co-main event.
Great fight.
So what's the deal? Are they going to give Colby the guy after that? Are they going to slide him again? Do you know? Have you talked to anybody?
No, man. I've even tried to get inside scoop on that, including going to Colby, and he usually tells me everything, and I don't know that he's holding back here. I'm not sure he knows, but I just know when I talk to him, I never get a real clear answer, and so I don't dig. I say, man, maybe you're playing this close to this, or maybe you legitimately don't know. So, no, man, I can't shed any light on that. I've asked insiders in that whole bit. I think he's pretty upset. He definitely deserves the winner.
He's earned it.
I'm not sure he deserves the winner. I think he just should be in this fight. He was the interim champion. You've got an undisputed champion. To my understanding of the process, they fight. So I'm on Colby's side, but I don't know where he's going to go. I don't know how deep his stubbornness runs.
Yeah. So I wanted to talk to you last week because of Kelvin, but how do you feel about that whole situation? What'd you think of him parading around with the belt?
Well, there was a few moving parts there. I was very worried, again, if you just follow the history of the sport, and I do say this is a Kelvin homer, I'm very biased on this, but, number one contendership, that's just floating around in the air. It's not like being the champion where your spot is solidified. Number one contender, I've watched it happen. It's just changed overnight before, so I was very worried if he fell from people's minds that he would also lose that opportunity. So as far as the belt and as you put it, parading, I think it was very appropriate. Here we are talking about it 3 weeks later. It annoyed a lot of people, and some people found it charming. But either way, it did keep his name out there, and I think that was a really important time in his career to make sure he didn't fall behind, because, Adesanya becomes the main event. Adesanya gets named as the number one contender. Well, you can't have two number one contenders at the same time. So it was a huge problem for him. and he found a way to work around it. You know, I'm sure you saw the announcement, but he's now going to be fighting Adesanya for the title in Whitaker's absence. So
I like that fight.
I don't think anyone could fault him. They could be annoyed. I wanted to tell them what they gotta appreciate and not appreciate. But as far as it being a attention grabber, which I think it was designed to do, I think it really worked out.
Yeah, that was funny he did that, because I was telling my roommate, you know, wrestling background, and I was telling my roommate before he did it, I was like, obviously I won't get credit for Kelvin doing that, but I told my roommate, I was like, you know, in wrestling and anything, I mean, the championship is a year. You get a year. And if you don't show up, you're not the champ. And and boxing and, you know, I mean, the tournament style stuff like boxing and MMA are the only two sports exclusive to that where you can not show up. But I don't know, do you feel they should do something about that? Do you feel like, you know, if you pull out no matter what the day of, something should happen there? I mean,
well, yes, I do. Yes, I do. But you have two masters to serve, right? For the integrity of the sport, there should most definitely be a forfeit clause. There is a forfeit clause in every sport that there is. The Super Bowl, by example, for 2020, 2021, and 2022, the date and time of the kickoff is set. If one team doesn't show up, they're crowning a champion on that day. And the same goes with every NCAA sport, and the same goes with the Olympic Games for the next two quads. The dates are set. If somebody doesn't show up, they're getting on with it. And in this sport, you know, you can kind of hold things up because the other master you have to serve is it's a television show. And, you know, you got to make sure that you do things right and you do things in the right order. But I do think, competitively speaking, that it's a flaw in the system. At the same time, as I say that to you, I don't like it when people suggest a complaint without a solution. I don't have a solution. When you're running, particularly a pay-per-view, you kind of have to have everyone show up, and if they don't, you're stuck. So I get it, and I don't have a solution, but if you purely want to look at the one side, which is the competitive nature, yes, there should be a forfeiture. If you don't walk on the mat, as you know as a wrestler, if you don't walk on the mat, they still raise the other guy's hand with ceremony. They'll bring him out in his singlet, they'll put the points up, they'll let him have his moment in the sun, and he can go home without breaking a sweat. Good for him.
Yeah. No, I mean, if you walk out to a national championship, you know, and the guy doesn't show up, I mean, you're still celebrating. You're still going out that night. You're a national champ. There's no...
And that isn't just in theory, Christian. That's happened many times, including the Olympics. Something happens in the course of the process, and the other guy just can't show up. Many times that's happened, where the gold medal or the championship goes to a guy who never had to actually contest it for whatever. But that's part of the process, showing up. We're here to find out who the toughest guy in the world is. So if for any reason, including you saying, I don't feel like walking out there, it disqualifies you from the conversation. Yeah. Get on with it.
Well, and I think MMA is a little different too, where, you know, we keep the champ in the back of our mind. Like if you know, for, let's just say for wrestling, for example, if somebody were to get hurt, the number one seed, you know, nobody's really going to be thinking too much about him if he doesn't, you know, whoever wins the national tournament. I mean, that's the national champ. Nobody bats an eyelash at who won that tournament. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, who was the guy? Was it Suriano got hurt 2 years ago? He was the number 2, but at the end of the tournament, nobody really remembered it.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's not the way it goes. I mean, it's Suriano, and I take no pleasure, very cold-hearted how I'm saying, but if for some reason he can't walk out there at the time that it was agreed to be contested, he doesn't get to be number 2 or number 1 or number 3. You gotta be present to win.
Yeah, absolutely. So this weekend,
but I would offer for you, because there is another side to it, which is, well, how do you run a show on that? How do you run a business on that, right? So it is a little bit more complicated, but just purely from the architectural standpoint, it seems like it would solve some problems too. I think fans you're gonna have a PR mess at first explaining it to them, but the masses are gonna understand. It's how every other sport in the world works.
Yeah.
There is a forfeiture clause in every single sport.
Yeah. No, I mean, it sucked for Kelvin. You know, I know Kelvin, he's a good guy. The day of, that sucked. And you know, you can attest to this. The day of a competition is, as far as nerves go, the most nerve-wracking thing. The night before and the day of, for me, has always been horrible. What about you?
Oh yeah.
It's bad. I can't.
I agree.
Yeah.
I mean, to the extent, particularly in a combat sport, where you make a promise to yourself, all right, I'm going to get through today, and then I'm never going to do this again. This is my last one, and then as soon as it's done, okay, let's go ahead and do it again. But yeah,
So speaking of last one, do you have a timeline for yourself?
No, I don't. But what I was told last was they were looking at May.
Okay.
And I just simply haven't heard anything since. But I'm operating on that assumption. I'm operating my life around being in there in May.
Gotcha. So is it gonna? I didn't see the Crow Cop fight. Did you? You said you were gonna call him out. Did you call Crow Cop out?
No. Crow Cop won the fight, and he and I had never met. We've always had heat. We've had heat for like 4 or 5 years, but we've never actually met. It was largely through the media, just one of those things. We had a meeting the day before for the first time. I'm not sure I ever met a nicer guy. I'm not positive I know a nicer guy in this sport. He was absolutely great.
That's funny. Well, if you want to call him out now, you can do it on my show, and maybe he won't.
I'm passing on the call out.
All right.
I like Crow Cup. The heat is gone. I've got.
Okay.
Gonna have to put my venom somewhere else.
All right. Do you have? Are you looking at Bader then at 205? Is that what you want to do? Is that what the company wants to do?
No, they haven't been really clear. I was trying to get a match with Tito on a personal note, and they were leaning in a different direction, and that was all they said. They said, hey, we're working on something, and we'll give you a call. And that was as of about 4 days ago. So I don't know what that is. I heard some rumors that could be Vitor that they're working on, but nobody's actually tipped me off.
Okay. Gotcha. So are you, so you're going out this weekend. It's in Vegas, right?
Yes.
And so let's say, Jones is the 10-1 favorite. Let's say Jones wins, gets on your and Ariel's show. Is he going to give you an interview? Is he going to talk to you? Is he going to snuff Chael, or is he going to give you some words?
I would suspect he would snub me. I mean, he snubbed me last time, which was very rude, and I would suspect he would do that again.
Yeah.
I mean, right, and it is an awkward situation, but John kind of looks at the world upside down, which is largely why so many things are upside down for him, but yes, he does view himself as a huge star that would help the show. Like me not coming on the show will punish you in some way, even though he only gets invited on the show every time he fights, which has been twice in the last 5 years. So there's 2 different ways to look at it. I'm only sharing with you how he looks at it. But if I was to guess, yes, old Chael will be getting snubbed.
Gotcha. How'd that whole thing start anyway with you and John? Because I liked the poem. I liked all the tweets. Those were pretty funny. But how did that all start? I
really can't remember where it started, but I will tell you in fairness, John is not wrong to be irritated with me. I mean, I've been pretty hard on him, right?
Yeah.
So what goes around comes around. I don't really get to complain when John decides to throw his venom back at me when I've been throwing it at him. So I can't really remember where it started. He went somewhere and said something.
Was it like Twitter or something? Does that sound right? He said something on Twitter, or...
He might have, it was somewhere, but I saw it and it got to me.
Yeah.
And by got to me, I mean I saw it.
Yeah.
It came across my eyes, and so I just fired back at him. There's really nothing much more than that. He was wrong though in that fight week when everybody was picking on him for the picogram thing. I was in his defense. I think maybe he heard that I was rough on him on that, but of all the things he's done, he was not guilty of that one.
Well, I mean, you call it how you see it, and you said, I mean, I remember that you were on his side. I mean, but because I think on that he was on the right side. He didn't really. I don't think he meant to do anything wrong, but you never know with John.
Well, at the end of the day, it's just not his call. It's a much higher level in an organization of great integrity. It's their call, and sometimes you will like it, and sometimes you won't. But either way, the rule is very clear that it is their call, and they made a call. So John's just not wrong. If you want to take it to somebody else and start to pick apart the science, you've got to do that with above him. He just got his marching orders and obeyed, and sometimes in life it goes that way. This was one of those spots. There was no way to put this on John's lap.
Yeah. Were you serious about the Anderson fight? Would you have stepped in there with Anderson?
Yeah, I most certainly would have, but no, you couldn't actually do that. By example, the weigh-ins were closed.
Yeah.
You had to weigh in the night before, and so nobody could have stepped in. But
and they probably didn't have any XXX cups in Australia anyway. I mean, that would have been tough to find.
That would have eliminated me, right? How could I possibly go in there unless they had a triple X cup?
No, that would have been brutal, man.
Yeah, I mean, there's rules. Says you have to have a mouthpiece. You got to have the appropriate cup. I mean, it's one of those things.
That's funny. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna let you go, but it was super nice having you. Super good talking to you. Let's catch up again. Oh, hey, actually, one more thing. Bisping. You said you were gonna do a show about Michael Bisping. You never did. I was looking forward to that.
A show? Tell me what you mean. A show about him or a show with him?
Either one, but I think Joel, or it might have been. What was your old host name?
Joel was on there for a while. Jacob was on there for a while.
Jacob. I think Jacob asked you about Bisping, and it was like the tail end of your show, and you said, "Hey, I'm gonna do a show about him. I'm gonna commemorate his career, but I want to do a little bit, maybe get him on." And I don't unless I missed a show. I don't know if you ever did, but I was looking forward to that.
And you didn't miss. You didn't miss. Now that you remind me of that, I somewhat dropped the ball, I guess you would say. But he has such a great career, and then I speculate that he's not done. He's still in great shape. Every time I see him, he's working out or just headed or leaving the gym. I still feel like his retirement is a little premature, but I guess only time will tell.
All right, man. Well, you got any advice, any words of wisdom, anything you want to say before you get off?
I got nothing, but maybe we should recap after the fights this weekend. It's gonna be a great time.
Let's do it, brother. All right, man. I'll catch you later. I'll be up there soon, so I'll see you, man.
I'll look forward to it. See you, buddy.